Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to part 2 of the cheap gantry crane build. If you haven't already seen it, I would suggest going back and checking episode 1 of this build series, which is only going to be 2, possibly 3. I'm not sure I'm going to do one for us painting it and all that stuff like that. I'm sure you guys don't want to watch that, but most definitely 2 episodes of the actual build of the crane. What I'm going to be going over today is cutting the triangular bracing for the uprights to connect to the I-beams on the bottom, and I'll also be cutting a bunch of pieces to weld into the webbing to kind of give it a little more torsional strength. The trolley that I've got for this system is meant for a much larger I-beam than what I've actually got, so I'm probably going to have to modify it a little bit, which is okay because the part that I'm going to have to modify is worn. That's the reason why it was taken out of service to begin with. They were going to throw it away at work, and I snagged it probably 8 years ago. And the bar that goes across the middle where the hook goes in, it's worn and it failed inspection. So I'll be replacing that part anyway to make it fit the I-beam I've got. So let me stop running my mouth here and get busy working. Thanks. I'm really hoping I can beat this weather. It's looking pretty rough off that way. Hopefully I can just get all 4 of these things cut, and then I can just start taking that trolley apart inside the garage. Well guys, it finally happened. Finally broke the old blade. I believe I did anyway. Let's see. Yep, she broke. Alrighty. Well, I guess I gotta go to the shop and get my backup blade that I bought a while back whenever I was doing the exhaust on the Mustang. So hang out a minute and I'll be back. Now come off of there. There we go. Stick our little blade guard back on here. I don't know what this thing does, but some kind of guard. I know my safety guy at work might be proud of me for putting that back on. Even though I'm sure that everything else I do probably scares the shit out of me. Boy, that new blade ain't joking around. Maybe I should have changed that blade a long time ago. about time I clean this saw off too. Alright guys, here's the trolley I've got. Like I said, this is one that I got from work. You can see how it's got the wear on this little on the crossbar right there. That's why it was taken out of service. The name, I don't know if you guys can make it out. Budget. Yeah, I'd say that fits this project to a T. So I'm going to take this thing apart, and this I-beam up here is 6 inches tall, 3 inches wide. So I'm going to have to see what we can do to make this work with such a narrow I-beam. So let me start taking it apart, and I'll get back with you. You know, as big as this thing is, I was expecting it to be rated for a lot more than what it actually is. It's only rated for 2,000 pounds, which is still, that's probably more than I'll ever be lifting with that thing. But that's good to know that it's fairly stout, I suppose. Alright, let's see, this side's already been taken loose for when it was took apart. Let's see here. Let's see if I can't get this cotter pin out. Hey, good. Alright. There we go. That's one piece. I was hoping this was a sleeve, but it's not. So, but you can see the wear. That's why it was taken out. But maybe I'll just get myself a long bolt to go through there or something. I have to measure this and see what size that bolt is. But this is going to have to come together quite a bit compared to what it was. It's probably going to be closer to about right here than anything. So let me get a measurement here. Let me go get a tape measure and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's a 3-inch I-beam. Yeah, I wasn't too far off. I'm just kind of guessing right now. So alright, that's 3 inches right there. So that looks pretty good. So we're at 3 1/4. What we got here? 1/8 inch material. Ooh, that's pretty thick. 1/4 inch. So 3 1/2 outside to outside. So 3 1/2 outside to outside, plus we need to leave a little bit for the adjustment shims and nut on each, or the head of the bolt and the nut. So let's just say we want it a 6-inch bolt. I think that should work fine. So let's see what this is. This is a 3/4 inch. No, 7/8. That's a 7/8 bolt. Now I know what I need. So I guess I'm going to, or I might just turn this down, so it'll be 3 1/4 inches in between. I could probably do that. Yeah, I think I might try that. Just turn this down, and that way I don't have to buy anything. Use what I've got. Alright guys, we got our crossbar modified here. Got it narrowed down to 3 inches. I cheated and got a buddy of mine to do this while I was working today. He did a fantastic job. He did better than I would have, I can tell you that. But anyway, let's see what we've got here. I measured the beam. The beam is supposed to be, well, the beam is actually 3 inches wide. And from things I've read on the internet, that says that you want an 1/8 inch gap between this shoulder and the beam on each side. So we need, I guess we need a total of 3 1/4 inches between them. So let's see where we are right here. So we are at 2 Looks like 11/16. So let's put a few shims in there. There we go. Well, looks like we didn't do anything there. I guess I'm going to need to tighten these. I guess I'm going to need to tighten these bolts down. Well, that's 3 3/8, so we need to take one shim out. Three and a quarter. All right, so that looks like that'll work. I think I'm going to take one of those shims out because I'm not happy with that. Yeah, I like that better. Alright guys, here's the chain hoist I've got. I don't know how long I've had this thing, but a friend of mine gave it to me a long time ago. Said some construction workers left it at his house when they were doing a job and just never came back to retrieve it. So good fortune for me, I guess. So I'm going to stick it up there on the trolley so I can get an idea of how this thing's going to look. I just hope this thing's long enough. That thing in place, but the good news is it looks like it's going to be long enough. Luckily I had the foresight to keep those trolley stops on there. Take two. You guys tune back in tomorrow when I finally get this thing all the way down. Guys, we're back. I took a break off the crane project for a little bit. I was having some second thoughts about a design that I had, and some of you may have seen the Gantry Crane episode 1.5 that I put out last week. It was a little short 4 or 5 minute video explaining a pretty bad design flaw that I've got in this. So basically I have come up with a different way to do the feet, and my feet are, you can see, are extremely long, which makes for good stability, you know, fore and aft, but the design going this way, you know, side to side, is really not good. So what I've done is I've bought some 2x4 box tube, and I'm going to double it up side by side. That's going to drop the whole unit down about 6 inches, which is good because it really doesn't need to be this tall. And also it's going to make it a lot more stable. So let's drag the saw out and start cutting. I guess I can use this. Okay, got it. There we go. So when I went to Harbor Freight and looked at theirs, their feet are just under 5 feet long. So I've got a 20-foot stick of 2x4. I'm gonna cut it in 5-foot sections. So that's how long my feet are gonna be, 5 foot. So I figure if it's good enough for theirs, it's gonna be good enough for mine. Let's do that 3 more times. That was super sketchy. Okay guys, I believe that's all I'm gonna do today. I'm beat and I ain't really even done anything. Just the sun's taking it out of me, I guess. But I'm gonna come back out here tomorrow and get a little bit more knocked out. Just keep chipping away at it until we're done. So see you in the next clip. Okay, I lied. I got one more thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and cut all these wheels. Well, cut these wheels off of this beam, and then I'm going in. At least in here I got a fan and shade. Okay, battery's about to die. Perfect timing. I'm done for the day. See you in the next clip. Alright guys, the past couple of evenings haven't been very kind to us. Seems like every time I get out here all it wants to do is rain on me. So now it's Saturday morning. It's great. The sun is behind the house. I'm working in the shade. So let me show you what we've got done so far. We got all 4 of our pieces cut for the feet. I went ahead and, well, let me start over here. I got this one test fitted on, as you can see in a previous clip. Then I took this one and mimicked it, went ahead and drilled out the bolt hole pattern and welded the casters on. So now what my plan today is to take these off, swap it with this, and then take these and prep them like this. What I did was I took and separated the tubes, cleaned it off, put some primer in between the pieces of metal, that way it wouldn't rust immediately. So it kind of gives it a little bit of a coat of protection. Then I clamped them together and welded the casters on so it's all held together nice and tight. So I'm going to swap this onto there and then prep these just like this, and then swap this I-beam out, and we will almost be done with all the fab work. So let's get busy working. Alright guys, paint's dry. Let's clamp them together. Start marking them out for our, oh, you know what? I just realized that I've got to take the wheels off that other I-beam so I can actually finish this part up. So let me go outside and do that. Okay. Throw them right there in my way. Oh boy, I'll never learn. I'm just going to set this down for right now so it remains somewhat stable. There we go. So I just put a little spritz of paint on the insides where these tubes will meet, so it doesn't just instantly start rusting. It's probably not going to last forever, but it'll make me feel better. Get our gigantic square out here and make sure our holes are somewhat aligned, close enough. So now we know everything's held in place this way. So we'll get our wheel, and I'm not doing anything groundbreaking here as far as measurements is concerned. Oh, you know what? I think the other side I welded with that seam down. So I think that's what I want to do here too, just again to make me feel better. So let's flip this over here and we'll realign this again. Just kind of eyeball the center there. Be good enough. Now let's mark this side. So there we go. I need to clean this out, and I'll do the same on the other end. Mark it. Now I'll have to swap my cutting wheel out for a grinding wheel, since we lost one of the grinders here earlier in this build process. I've still got to go buy me another one, because it just makes it a lot more convenient. Because if you're going to buy a cheap grinder, you might as well buy a couple of them and just keep it set up on whatever you're using it for, grinding or cutting, which is what I had it. But I mean, like I said, the Hyper Tough one died on me, so probably go get me another one here pretty soon. All right, I've got all the mill scale ground off where it needs to be. I can go ahead and weld the casters on. go ahead and give this thing a coat of paint, and then I'm going to break for lunch and come back and install it. All right, we're going to let that dry, or not dry. We're going to let that cool off. All right, we're going to let that cool off, and I'll clean it off with some brake clean, spritz me a coat of paint on there, and like I said, go get some lunch. So hang out. All right, she's cooled down enough. What did I do with the brake clean? Well, this is my life, looking for stuff that I just had in my hand. Oh boy. Hey, there it is. Tell you what, after using this stuff right here, going back to one of these spray cans is, man, it's kind of painfully slow. If you haven't watched my video where I use that on the Mustang fenders, go back and watch it. It's pretty impressive stuff. Okay, let's let that dry. I'll start cleaning up a little bit and let's go get some lunch. Alrighty, let me get my bolts. Roll this into position. Let's drop her down. Uh-oh. All right. Huh. That's wild. It feels a whole lot more stable than it did before, which is good, I guess, because it wasn't all that. Now it's not doing all that rocking back and forth this way. So, yeah, that's a lot better. All right, guys, we have got it all put together. I have my triangular braces welded in. It's done, except for the paint. Now, like I said, I'm not going to bore you guys to death with that, but you can see wheels are on, legs are on. I bolted the uprights to the feet, rather. I bolted to. Anyway, I'm hot, and I am just rambling on right now. But anyway, let me go over the cost of everything on here. And really it's not much, because I'm pretty much a pack rat and I've been holding on to a lot of this stuff for years and years and years. So the legs right here, the I-beam, those were all free from a company that was shutting down, and I snagged those because I figured I would be building this thing one of these days. The trolley I got from work. They were taking it out of service, they were going to throw it away, and luckily the company I work for, they've been pretty good so far about letting the employees take stuff home that's going to be thrown away, because I mean, if we can use it, we can use it. A lot of companies, they get scared that they're going to get sued, you know, by somebody taking something home and getting hurt with it. But I mean, you really got to be a piece of dirt to do a company like that. If they're doing you a favor and giving you something, then you turn around and sue them for it, that's that ain't me, man. That ain't me. I mean, you got to, like I said, you got to be a piece of dirt if you're going to do that. But so luckily, nothing like that has happened so far. So they still let us carry things home. And getting back to that, it's these pieces of 3-inch C channel right here. Kind of rusty. They were being thrown away at work. I got those. Had to buy the bolts. Got those from Tractor Supply. I had to buy the 2x4 tube. Got that from Steel Mart out here in Gainesville. The wheels, those were being replaced by locking units, and they were going to go in the trash, so I was able to snag those and bring them home. So basically what I've got as actual purchased parts with this whole deal is the 2x4 box tube. I bought two pieces of it because I'm going to be using, the other piece for other projects. But so it was like $235 or something. Let's just round it up to $240 for both pieces. So let's just say $120 for the metal that I've got that I actually used here. The bolts, that was another 20 bucks. Those bolts get pretty expensive when they get big like that. Those are 9/16 bolts, 9/16 by 2-inch bolts, and I'll get them over at Tractor Supply because they sell them by the pound. I'm not sure if that works out better with the big stuff or not, but it just seems like you get a better deal whenever you buy the small ones. You get a pound of them, you get like a whole big bag full of them. It feels like a good deal. But when you come home with 8 bolts and they were like 3 pounds, just like ooh. so anyway, the chain hoist or chain fall, whichever one you want to call it, people call it both. Like I said, a friend of mine gave that to me probably 20 years ago. But anyway, there it is. I've got, what did I say, 120, like 140, 150 bucks in the whole thing. So I feel good about it. I'm proud of it. It's going to work well whenever I start working on that truck. I'm going to be able to pull the bed off, pull the cab off relatively easily. So I won't have to have any help doing that. Have I said enough? There I go again. Look guys, I'm tired, it's hot. I'm about to sit down and scroll on my phone for a little while. And I'm going to try to release this video on Sunday, which today is Saturday. It seems like I get a few more subscribers on Sundays than any other days. I'm still trying to figure out what's the best time of day, what's the best day whenever to release my videos. So I mean, if you guys are out there and you seem to watch YouTube at, the usual time for you, let me know when it is. Let me know down in the comments. And I don't know what I'm going to be working on next. Probably messing around with the Jeep maybe. I need to work on that tractor because I did say it in my earlier video on that little tractor that it would be a project for July or August, and it's becoming the end of July right now. So anyway, I need to get on that, see if I can run. Then we'll figure out, something to do with that little thing, have some fun on it or whatever. Just hope I don't get hurt on it. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.